Have you ever jumped out of bed first thing in the morning, eager to start your day, only to feel a little off? Maybe a wave of dizziness hits you, or you lose your balance just for a second. Or maybe it's that sudden rush in your head, like your brain hasn't quite caught up to your body yet. Now, here's the thing. What if I told you that this quick little habit, something you've probably done your whole life without a second thought, could be silently putting your brain at serious risk? I'm talking about a habit so common, it happens every morning across millions of homes, and yet for people over 60, it could triple your risk of having a stroke. Yes, triple, especially if you're living with high blood pressure, poor circulation, or if you've ever been told you're at risk by your doctor. Now think about that. One small thing you do before breakfast, before your coffee, before you even brush your teeth, could change the rest of your life in an instant. And the worst part, most people don't even know it's dangerous. That's why today's video matters. Because after 60, our bodies respond differently. The same habits that were harmless in our younger years, they can become silent triggers for serious problems. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what this morning mistake is, why it puts stress on your aging brain, and 5 eye-opening reasons why skipping this one little change could be far more dangerous than you think. But more importantly, I'll show you what to do instead to protect your brain, reduce your stroke risk, and start each day with confidence and calm. So, if you're someone who cares about staying sharp, steady, and safe as you age, take a deep breath, grab a cup of tea or coffee if you like, and stick with me to the end. This could be one of the most important things you learn this year. And before we dive in, go ahead and comment, "I'm here" if you're ready to take your health into your own hands. Because this channel, Elderly Wisdom Log, is where we talk about aging with strength, awareness, and smart daily habits. If that sounds like something you care about, hit that subscribe button right now. We've got so much to share and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the first and perhaps most common mistake. Mistake 1, getting up too quickly from bed. Picture this. Mr. Thomas, a 68-year-old retired school teacher, had a routine. He'd wake up at 6 a.m. sharp, throw the covers off, plant his feet on the ground, and stand up straight away just like he did in his younger days. He believed in staying active, staying sharp. But one morning, something was different. The moment he stood, the room spun. He stumbled, caught the edge of his nightstand, and had to sit back down quickly. He brushed it off, blaming it on poor sleep. But later that day, he slurred his words, felt numbness in his left hand. He was rushed to the hospital, diagnosed with a minor stroke. Now thankfully, he recovered, but the neurologist told him something that changed his entire approach to mornings. You've got to stop jumping out of bed. Your brain needs time to catch up. Why is that? Here's the truth. As we age, our blood vessels become less flexible. They don't expand and contract as quickly as they used to. So when you go from lying down to standing up too fast, gravity pulls your blood down toward your legs, and your brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs right away. This sudden drop in blood pressure, it's called orthostatic hypotension. It's more than just a moment of dizziness. It's your brain literally gasping for proper blood flow. And for those of us over 60, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or hardened arteries, this sudden drop can become the trigger that sets off a chain reaction. Slowed circulation, poor brain perfusion, and even the conditions that can lead to a clot or stroke. But here's what's even more concerning. Most people ignore it. We shrug off that dizzy spell. We assume, oh, I just got up too fast, I'll be fine. But what if that brief moment is a warning sign your body's begging you to notice? Here's a safer way to do it. The next time you wake up, don't rush. Take a few seconds to blink, stretch gently in bed, and take a deep breath. Then slowly shift your legs over the edge of the bed and sit for 1 to 2 minutes. While sitting, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms, flex your ankles and toes. Let your circulation stabilize before you put any weight on your feet. It's a small habit, but it creates a moment of stability that protects your brain, your heart, and your balance. Now, Mr. Thomas, he changed his routine, and he hasn't had a dizzy spell or a scare since. But getting up too fast isn't the only thing putting your brain at risk first thing in the morning. Let's move on to the next mistake. One that sits quietly in your kitchen and seems harmless, but depending on how you handle it, it could either help your brain or harm it. Let's talk about what you drink after waking up. Mistake 2, skipping morning hydration. Let me tell you about Mrs. Jean. She's 72, a retired librarian, sharp as a tack, always had a love for crossword puzzles. But lately, something was off. By mid-morning, around 10 a.m., she'd start feeling foggy. Her energy would dip, she'd lose focus, and even the morning paper felt like too much effort. At first she chalked it up to but her daughter noticed the pattern and encouraged her to speak with her neurologist. After a few basic checks, one simple thing stood out. She was waking up mildly dehydrated every single day. See, what many don't realize is this. While you sleep, your body continues to lose water through your breathing, especially if you sleep with your mouth open, and through your skin, even if you don't feel sweaty. By the time you wake up, your body's already in a deficit. And if you don't replenish that first thing, your blood becomes thicker. Thicker blood moves slower. It takes more effort for your heart to pump it. And when blood flow slows down, especially in narrowed or aging arteries, your brain is the first organ to suffer. Now, here's the real kicker. Many older adults start their morning with a hot cup of coffee. And while coffee might wake you up, it doesn't hydrate you. In fact, because it's a diuretic, it actually pushes more water out of your system. So instead of helping, it's setting you further back. Now, I'm not saying skip your coffee altogether, but what you drink before it matters. Start your morning with a full glass of water. Room temperature is best, easy on the stomach, gentler on the system. Even better, add a slice of fresh lemon. Lemon water not only kickstarts digestion, but it also supports circulation, helping that freshly hydrated blood flow more easily to the brain. Mrs. Jean made that simple switch. Water before coffee, and within a week, she was back to finishing her crossword by 9 a.m. No fog, no fatigue. It's such a small shift, but for an aging brain, hydration is fuel. It keeps you sharp, steady, and protected. So before your tea, before your pills, before anything else, drink that glass of water. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds simple enough, but what if I told you there's another morning habit? One most people don't even realize they're doing, that could be causing inflammation in the brain, quietly, over time. Mistake 3, morning stress or rushing. Let me paint a picture for you. It's 6:45 in the morning. Mr. Kumar, 70 years old, wakes up, reaches for his phone, before his feet even hit the floor. Emails, missed calls, a news headline about rising costs, an urgent text from his daughter, another from the clinic, confirming his appointment. His day hasn't even begun, and already his mind is racing. He's not moving slowly. He's not breathing deeply. He's not sipping water or enjoying the quiet of the morning. He's already stressed, even before breakfast. And Mr. Kumar isn't alone. So many older adults wake up and dive headfirst into the day, thinking, I need to stay on top of things. Or if I don't do it now, I'll forget. But here's what's really going on inside your body. Cortisol, your stress hormone, naturally peaks in the morning. That's your body's way of helping you wake up, get alert, and move. But when you add extra stress on top of that, like rushing around, checking the news, juggling tasks, or arguing over the phone, you're creating a hormonal storm. Blood pressure shoots up, your blood vessels tighten, inflammation quietly creeps in. And for an aging brain, that combination is dangerous. Over time, those pressure spikes wear down the inner walls of your arteries, especially the ones feeding your brain. And this isn't just about feeling tense. This is about micro damage building up in silence, until one day it's not so silent. But here's the good news. You have the power to change this, without medication, without spending a dime. Try this tomorrow, before you check your phone, before you get pulled into the day. Sit quietly, close your eyes, take 5 slow, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. Listen to a soft instrumental track, or simply sit by the window and look outside. Give your body a moment to ease into the day. This one small act tells your heart, you're safe, you're calm, no need to rush. It protects your arteries, it calms your nervous system, and over time, it can reduce your stroke risk more than you think. You're not being lazy, you're being wise. Productivity can wait, your peace of mind can't. Now, before we move to the next mistake, can I ask a little favor? If you found any part of this video helpful so far, whether it reminded you of something your body's been telling you, or opened your eyes to a new habit, go ahead and click the like button right now. It lets YouTube know this video matters. It helps more people just like you find this kind of practical, life-saving information. And if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button. Here on Elderly Wisdom Log, we talk openly, honestly, and compassionately about the health habits that shape our later years. so you can age with strength, clarity, and dignity. Alright, let's get back to it. You've probably heard someone say, "I'm not a big breakfast person," or maybe you've said it yourself. But what you put or don't put on your plate in the morning could be quietly fueling brain inflammation. Let's talk about that. Mistake sin 4: skipping or delaying breakfast. Let me introduce you to Ellen. Ellen is 75, sharp-minded, active, and proud of keeping up with her Hendon kids. But like many her age, she started following advice that wasn't really meant for seniors. She began skipping breakfast, not because she wasn't hungry, but because she thought it would help her keep her weight down. Intermittent fasting, her niece had mentioned. Skip breakfast. It's good for your metabolism. So Ellen waited until noon to eat. Coffee in the morning, maybe a cup of tea. That was it. At first it seemed harmless. But after a few weeks, Ellen noticed something strange. Her hands started to tremble around mid-morning. She felt irritated, forgetful. Some days she couldn't concentrate enough to even read the newspaper. And by late morning she was wiped out. She brushed it off. Maybe it's just aging, but when she finally spoke to her doctor, the truth came out. Her brain was starving. You see, unlike other parts of the body, your brain cannot store fuel. It runs on glucose, natural sugar from the food you eat, and in the morning after 8 to 10 hours without food, your brain is running on empty. When you delay breakfast, especially in your later years, your body reacts by going into stress mode. Cortisol rises, blood pressure increases, the lining of your blood vessels tightens. All of this means less blood, less oxygen, and less nourishment flowing to your brain. And over time, it weakens the vessels that protect against strokes. Now I know what you might be thinking, but I'm not really hungry in the morning, or I don't want a big heavy breakfast. That's completely understandable. But here's the thing, skipping breakfast isn't the same as controlled fasting, not when you're over 60, not when your body and brain need consistency, stability, and energy to function safely. When you skip your morning meal, you're not just skipping calories, you're skipping protection for your mind, your heart, and your day. So what's the fix? You don't need to eat a buffet. You don't need pancakes and sausages and a full spread. You just need something balanced, something gentle, nourishing, and steady. A bowl of steel-cut oats with a handful of almonds or walnuts, a slice of whole grain toast with a boiled egg, or a cup of Greek yogurt with a spoonful of chia seeds and a few blueberries. These meals aren't just filling your stomach, they're feeding your brain, stabilizing your blood sugar, and calming your nervous system. And let's not forget the added benefit. A balanced breakfast keeps your mood steady and your focus sharp. No more late morning crash, no more feeling off without knowing why. So if you've been skipping breakfast lately, thinking you're doing something healthy, take a moment to rethink that choice. You deserve to wake up and give your body the fuel it needs to thrive, not just survive. Now, let's move on to our final mistake. And I have to tell you, this one might be the most dangerous if you're already dealing with high blood pressure or circulation issues. It's something most people don't notice because it happens quietly, almost automatically, every single morning, but it could be silently increasing your risk of a brain event. Let's talk about it. Mistake sin 5: taking blood pressure medication without food or monitoring. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold. He's a kind man who loves tending to his little backyard garden every morning. Tomatoes, roses, a patch of mint by the fence. You'd never guess he had heart issues just by looking at him. Every morning without fail, Harold took his blood pressure meds right after getting out of bed. No breakfast, no water, just popped the pill and went outside to water his plants. One morning something went wrong. Harold had just bent down to clip a dead leaf when he suddenly lost balance and collapsed into the flower bed. By the time his neighbor rushed over, Harold was conscious, but pale and confused. At the hospital, doctors said he experienced a blood pressure crash, a dramatic drop that restricted blood flow to his brain. Why? Because he took his BP meds on an empty stomach, without checking his pressure first. And for older adults, that kind of mistake can trigger a stroke, a fainting episode, or worse. Here's what many don't realize. Blood pressure medications aren't a one-size-fits-all solution. Some types, like ACE inhibitors or beta blockers, work rapidly, especially in the morning, when your body is just waking up and naturally adjusting its internal rhythms. If there's no food in your system, these meds can hit your bloodstream faster and harder, dropping your pressure too low too fast. That sudden dip doesn't just make you dizzy. It can actually cut off oxygen-rich blood to your brain, the very thing you're trying to protect. And here's the bigger misconception. A lot of people believe the lower the better when it comes to blood pressure, but that's not true, especially not for seniors. You're not trying to hit zero. You're trying to stay in a safe, steady zone. A zone that supports your heart, feeds your brain, and allows you to move safely throughout your day. So what should you do? First, never take your medication blindly. Start by checking your blood pressure every morning. It doesn't take long, and home monitors are more affordable and easier to use than ever. Knowing your numbers empowers you to make smart decisions. Second, don't take blood pressure meds on an empty stomach, unless your doctor specifically instructs you. A light breakfast or even a few crackers can help ease the medication's absorption and prevent a dramatic crash. Third, talk to your healthcare provider about the best time to take your medication. Some may work better at night, others may need to be split into smaller doses. And finally, don't suffer in silence. If you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or off balance after taking your medication, say something. Your body is trying to tell you something important. Don't ignore it, because when it comes to protecting your brain, timing matters, awareness matters, and habits matter. Now that we've talked about these 5 hidden dangers, you might be wondering, what do I do with all this? How do I take all this information and turn it into something that actually makes a difference in my day-to-day life? Let's talk about the bigger picture. How small changes each morning can lead to longer, healthier years, starting with the very first hour of your day. Ready? Let's wrap this up with a few simple, life-saving takeaways. You know, it's a little scary, isn't it? To think that something as simple as getting out of bed, or skipping a glass of water, or forgetting breakfast, something you've done for years without a second thought, could be quietly harming your brain, or worse, putting you or someone you love at risk of a stroke. It's not just a statistic, it's personal. It's that neighbor who suddenly collapsed, that family member who seemed perfectly fine until one morning changed everything. And yet, here you are, still listening, still learning, still caring. That tells me something powerful about you. You're not here to live in fear, you're here to live in wisdom. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking the fear of aging and turning it into preparedness. Because knowledge is your armor, and small, consistent habits are your sword. You don't need to flip your world upside down. You just need to start your mornings with intention. So tomorrow morning, don't just jump up. Rise with care. Let your feet touch the floor slowly. Stretch. Sit up. Drink that glass of water. Not coffee, not juice, but good clean water. Breathe. Give your brain oxygen, not stress. Fuel your body with something nourishing, something warm and real. And take your medications the right way. That's how you protect the years you've earned. Because aging isn't about becoming fragile. It's about becoming aware. It's about choosing to treat your mind and body with the same wisdom you've gained from all those years of experience. You are not powerless. You are prepared. You are aware. And now you are ready. Let's take a moment to quickly go over the 5 risky morning mistakes we talked about today. 1. Getting up too quickly from bed, which can drop your blood pressure and starve your brain of oxygen. Skipping morning water, which thickens your blood and strains circulation. Starting your day with stress, which spikes cortisol and narrows blood vessels. 4. Skipping breakfast, leaving your brain without fuel and triggering stress hormones. 5. Taking blood pressure medication improperly, especially without food or monitoring, which can cause dangerous crashes. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these surprised you the most? Have you ever experienced that lightheaded feeling in the morning? Or watched a loved one struggle with brain fog or balance? Maybe you've noticed these things, but didn't realize they had a deeper cause. Share your story in the comments. Even if it's just one small detail, it matters, because someone else reading might see their own story in yours, and that could be the very thing that helps them make a life-saving change. And hey, if this video helped you feel more confident about your morning routine, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Log. This is a space made just for you, for people who want to age with grace. Stay strong and live smarter, not harder. We've got so many more insights coming about brain health, heart strength, fall prevention, and even emotional wellness. So hit that bell too if you want to stay ahead, because at the end of the day, every small habit is a step toward a stronger tomorrow. Stay wise, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.